Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again welcome you to our YouTube channel. Kindly remember to share, to subscribe, and enjoy the video as time goes. Here, I would like to welcome my friend, who is one of my major actors in this channel. So please listen to us and learn. Okay? So welcome.
Thank you, Sir Bernard, an investigator. I've been investigating about many things that are occurring in the daily situation, mostly in the school learners, more so concerning the youth. And I've been watching the YouTube channels from TJ Jamo. And here I have some questions which I want just to ask him in order to tell us and explain to us more about those questions. First, I have been observing something about the high school learners. Mostly, once you observe, we have teachers, and we have to search up on the best advice that we could give the learners in order to be satisfied with our answers and in order for them to comprehend. First question is about the right advice that we should give to learners, more so concerning the sex as sin. What should we tell them?
Now,
Yes.
when we are talking about sexual sin, first of all, we have to put it in mind. Like I had in my previous tutorial, I had posted on the different stages of lust. Now, if you want to deal with a certain situation, when you talk about sexual issues in the youth, first of all, you need to capture and control their mind. If at all you want to control them and flee against sexual sin, it should begin from the mind. Now, if the mindset of a student or any other child is set under precautions of sexual sin, like for example, if you tell them to abstain, okay, but at the same time you insert a mindset in them that they can use contraceptives, that child you've mingled his mind. So the best way to do is, one, introduce a topic or a subject that teaches the youth, first of all, to know themselves. And then this chapter or this subject, it should also teach them about acceptance. Self-esteem is very core and is very key when it comes to students and sex. Yeah, because some of them, they do it not because they want to, but because they've been indulged by peers. Their peers can lead them to do the same. But if these youths were aware, or the students are aware, that sexual sin is not something that is good, or even if they emulate a certain behavior that they know or they've associated themselves with, different dilemmas or different statutes and statutes in their or beliefs, okay, or beliefs in this is based on their background, that as I grow, I know that I should not sleep with my fella until the right time. Now, as a teacher, if you want to win sexual sin, first of all, begin by controlling the child's mind, by teaching them positively on doing away with any sort of vile affection or any kind of emotional disclosure when it comes to opposite gender. Again, this should also begin from the family setup. If at all my parents have raised me in a background whereby our culture is against early marriages and also early, let's say, you be educated on the precautions of purity. Yeah, you can also talk about religion, because when we are talking about us controlling sexual sin, remember that Christian ethics should also be key and should lead this child, because whenever this child will think or will be introduced into sexual sin, he or she will remember that there is an ethic that prevents me from doing the same. Yeah, I think that one will make a very good answer.
Okay. Now I have this question mostly concerning those the high school students. Yes, you tell them that they should abstain from sex as a sin, but you find that once they are in their vacations or their holidays, you find them they have already indulged in those kind of situations. They have already found themselves in. They have practiced the sin. They have already done sex. Now, I just want to know that what can you direct them? Yes, you have taught them that is the
Okay.
What
Now
can
I
you
understand. Now, when you are talking about the youths who have already indulged themselves into sexual sin, the first way to address them, first of all, it should begin from a point of acceptance. Yeah, it should begin from a point of acceptance. Let them accept that they once did a mistake, but this mistake is not. It should not always dictate to their present, because we say that a mistake. An Englishman said that a mistake is not a mistake unless it is repeated. So, if at all you educate these youths, I remember that the subject matter here is sex, and it being the subject matter, the point of acceptance should be very key. If I told you accept that I did it once and it was a mistake, I did it from maybe peer influence or due to lack of knowledge, this should not now dictate you today. So if these youths at once indulge themselves into this sexual orgasm, what should follow is now precautions. Yeah, and not to do it again. They should learn from their past mistakes. So the first thing is advise them to learn from their past mistakes, and also show them how vanious this thing is. Yeah, there is no profit that one incurs. So advise them, talk to them to avoid peer influence, and also there is also another key thing here. When you are talking to them, tell them to identify what led to them indulging into the same. What are some of the mistakes that they once did, that triggered them to do the same? And I think that this will help the world even to, it can also be used in rehabilitation. Once I identify what caused me to do it, I know that next time when I see that thing, I will flee from it. Yeah, that is the best way that these youths can come out of it. The last one?
Yes, Master Jemo, I already get your answers and have started comprehending about what you say about the sex as a sin. Now, on that part, I have one final question regarding on that part we have already dealt in. Is it right for a teacher to teach sex as a sin as a subject and at the same time give the learners contraceptives?
Oh, when you talk about a student, first of all, we need to understand, when you're talking about a student, like for example, a high school, are you talking about university students or high school?
High school students.
Good. When you are talking about high school students, one, this is a student. Two, a student is not yet at age, a ripe age. So, first of all, it is good to teach sex as a subject to create assurance and to create awareness. Now, giving students contraceptives, this means that you are encouraging the act. Okay? So teachers or any other person never think of giving your child or your students contraceptives. Or rather, what you can do is let them understand their biological setup. Teach them. Okay, teach them. Like for example, the science subjects, you can squeeze this and teach it as a subject whereby you will teach these students that first of all let them be familiar, because you see fear and phobia can also trigger children or can trigger them to do certain acts. Let them be aware that sex is real and that sex is a sin, and that is how you can help them. So it is good to introduce this as a subject. So guys, I appreciate you a lot for your time. Remember to share, subscribe, and let's meet in the next tutorial. So thank you, and may God bless you.